about this?
We're out, guys.
All right, gang.
All right. Hello, everybody. Once again, welcome to Puff and Drinks, the show that educates you, the show that gives you something to think about, the show that gives you something to laugh about. As usual, we want you to like us. We want you to share your thoughts. And just let us know what you think. Last week, we did a remote. And the name of the lady was Linda Caldwell. Is that? Linda Caldwell. She was an insurance lady who, I got to admit, she provided some very, very interesting information about insurance. Prior to me listening to her, excuse me, I only thought insurance was whole life, term, and burial insurance. That's all I knew. Mm-hmm. But listening to her, I realized that there's a lot more about the insurance world that we don't know that we need to know.
I agree.
The fact that actually, if you have the right policy, you could make some money off of it in the long run. So she's going to be coming to Michigan in the near future, and we are definitely looking forward to having her on the show and sharing some information. And hopefully, if things work out, maybe we can sign up. Because, like I said, she made us realize once again that there's more to life than just whole life, term, and burial insurance. So,
yes.
All right. Tonight, in our interest, in our desire to educate you wonderful people, we're going to continue on with our desire to help lift you up financially speaking. There's a product called Acorns Financial, and what it is, it's a 3-part product. One, it has an investment arm, which like investing in traditional stocks. It has a high interest checking account, and it has even a higher interest emergency fund. Now, let me be very specific about how we're going to do this. I'm going to explain all 3 parts, and before you guys say, no, this is not for me, just hear me out, because I'm hoping that when we're done, you'll at least say, well, you know what, maybe I need to look into this. Because let me say this right now, the traditional banks, Bank of America, what other banks are there? Man.
Chase.
Chase, Bank of America, Comerica Bank if you're in Michigan.
Right. Yep, you name it.
They're ripping us off tooth and fro? That doesn't sound right.
There we go.
They're ripping us off, okay? They're making money off of us, and we're not making a thing.
Nope.
We really aren't.
Right.
Let me give you a quick, a comparison. If you have a checking account with one of these banks, your monthly percentage might be, 0.5?
If that
much. 0.3, 0.2, 0.5. You're not making anything.
No.
With Acorns alone, you're making a full 3%. I think it's actually a little more than 3%.
Right. Depending if you do the mutual funds and then also if you go high risk.
Well, no, hold on. Correct me if I'm wrong. Because you have 3 separate arms.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You have the emergency fund, which is a high interest checking account. I'm sorry, a high interest savings account. Mm-hmm. Okay.
There we go.
You have the checking account, and then you have the investment arm.
Yes.
Now, granted, investing stocks might not be for everybody. Well, you know what? Jimmy just kind of jumped in there. It's more than stocks. It's mutual funds.
Right.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So it's not just straight stocks, okay? The way they have it is that they almost make it foolproof that if you stick with it in the long run, you're going to make some money.
Yeah, you actually do make
some money. The more you put into it, the more you're going to make. Yeah. But like I said, if the investing arm scares you, which I can understand, it's not for everybody. But you got to consider the checking and the savings alone.
Right.
The checking account, like I said, pays you 3%. The savings account or the emergency fund, I think that's what they call it. The emergency account pays you a full 5%.
Yes.
That's
That's nice.
That is nice. I want you to think about this for a moment. 5% versus 0.5.
Right.
You don't have to be a mathematician to figure that out.
Don't have to be an actuary.
No.
Yeah.
You don't have to. No, the numbers are there. Yep.
Yeah. The more you put into it, the more you can make. Now, you're not going to become a millionaire. Let's be
Right.
you know.
And mention that this is not a get rich quick scheme or anything
This
like
is
that.
it's a fund to help you catch certain things in your household. You can use the money for your vacations. You can use the money for
Schooling for your kids. Host of other things.
Depending on how much you actually invest in it, and you can invest as little as $5 up to $500. It all depends on what you want to actually put in it, and you determine the rate in which you invest.
Yeah.
So that is the best thing about it. Of course, we are going to post something out online so that you guys can take a look at it too and everything else and see for yourself. But it's acorns.com. If you want to take a look at it and everything else for yourself, acorns.com. It's the green acorn.
Right.
You have nothing to lose and everything.
But time. The only thing you have to lose is time.
And if you want, you can also use the Acorn app,
Yep.
which will give you everything. So, hey.
All right. Now, it's all insured.
Yes.
Let
It's
me be-
FDIC.
It's FDIC insured, which means if for some reason Acorns goes belly up, which I don't think it will.
No, they haven't. They're quite solvent.
They're quite solvent. But let's say for some reason, if it goes belly up, your savings or your emergency fund
It's there.
is completely insured up to $250,000.
Yeah.
Your checking account is insured up to $250,000. Now I want you to hear me. Even the investment arm is insured, but let me be very specific. Let's say for some reason, you got some foul players in there.
Right.
You got some people who are less than honest, and they somehow take the investment monies or take the monies coming into Acorn and they squander it. They blow it. They do a Bernie Madoff. That is insured up to $250,000 as well. So, like I said, this is virtually. I mean, there's the only things that are for sure are life, death, and taxes.
Right.
This is the next best thing to a guarantee.
Well, it's a mathematical principle called probability, where hey, you can do so many things wrong and get an outcome, or you can do so many things right and get a positive outcome.
With this, you do get a positive outcome because
Right.
you're not losing your shirt initial. It's not in fact, you won't lose your shirt. It's based upon how much you are willing to actually put into it. So, like I said, you can do $5 a week if you spend $20 a week in lunch money. For going out to lunch. In some cases, I know people who spend $100+ a week in lunch. So
Yeah.
if you even cut that in half and put $50 a week into this, you would earn up to 3% on that money. So once again, acorns.com, and we're all investors of it. And
We
so
are.
that we put our disclaimer out there, they're not paying us anything.
No.
Nope.
They're not. We don't get any money off of this. We're not trying to get any money
Not
off of
a
this.
penny.
What we're telling you is that we've used it in the past, and we're still using it now
Yeah.
because it is a benefit to ourselves and our families.
Yeah.
Right.
Not to put forth our personal financial information, but I think it's fair to say, well, you know what? I'll speak for myself. A sizable amount of my available funds is invested in Acorn. And I'm just putting it out there, and I'm being totally truthful. And I think my two partners here.
Hey, I can wholeheartedly admit it got me out of some bind. Granted, I had to pay the taxes back, but
Yep.
you
can borrow against it and everything
borrow
else.
against it. But I mean, hey,
And then the best thing about it, you can take and withdraw from it tax free.
yes, you can.
You can draw from it tax free. But then don't get me wrong, when you are withdrawing from it and everything else, you still get the 1099 at the end of the year.
Right.
So you still have to pay taxes on that. But you can still withdraw from it tax free.
Right, and you get your 1099 a little late. You don't get it right off the bat.
No.
Yeah, it's called 1099-R that you get. Right.
Now, I will say this. There is a monthly subscription fee
Right.
of $3.
Yep.
$3. But if your checking account has a minimum balance of 250, no, I'm sorry, hold on. I stand corrected. Okay. The subscription fee is $3 per month, which is nothing. It really isn't. But if you're making monthly deposits of $250 or more, it's waived.
There you go.
It's waived. So, and the final push, and once again, guys, we're not making we're not making a dime off of this, okay?
No, they're not paying us. And the only reason we're telling you this is because it has been a solid investment. When everything else is falling down and around us and everything else, you can still actually take and go to that because you put, $10 here, $20 there. And then they do have one thing that I think is really nice. They actually have a roundup.
Exactly.
Now, you can determine how much you want them to round up on how much you spend. So they also are partnered with different corporations and different companies so that if you're spending money with, say, for instance, Nike, you do get a percentage of that added into your Acorn account. So there are a ton of different companies that they actually have, and they do add more money the more that you spend and shop. So for all you online shoppers, trust me, you might want to definitely take a look at this.
Absolutely. They give different rebates. They give different incentives depending on where you eat, depending on, some of the items that you purchase. It doesn't hurt to look.
No.
Yeah,
Plus, you do get an Acorn card. So let them know
Absolutely.
you do get an Acorn card. The Acorn card, I don't think I have mine.
I have mine.
So,
Yep, got mine in my wallet.
yeah.
I have
Let me
mine.
try so I don't hold the number up. But yes, you do get an Acorn card.
There you go.
And it's actually made of titanium. It's a metal titanium card that they actually do.
There you
but
go.
You get your Acorn piece of
check
debit
you
card.
out now.
Yep.
You got the look
you
at
got the black card?
yeah. Look at that. You got an
whatever,
engraved one.
Well, I don't even care. I don't even get it. I don't even care. I don't even care.
you-
So, but bottom line is you have the ability and you have control, and you can stop your investing in it at any point in time.
Whatever you want.
At 3:00 in the morning, you're like, okay, I needed to stop, my automatic withdrawal into it, or not automatic withdrawal, but automatic draft. You can do that.
Correct.
Stop it automatically. Nothing is going to take from you until you give to it. So you have control of it better than you think. You don't have to call them. You don't have to take and do none of that. You have full control over through the app on your phone or on the website if you want to use the website.
Now, here's a school of thought that, you helped me with. Say you have a child that, you want to teach financial responsibility, and let's just say, hey, I'm going to give you a card, I'm going to give you an allowance, and they form an account. They can start building on that account at an early age, and hey,
Yep.
by the time, they get to college, they could have a good chunk of change.
Yes. At least to pay for the first year.
Bingo. Or, depending upon other financial opportunities, which, naturally why we're having these forums, so, people can most definitely expand, but those are options that we just didn't have available.
No. Acorn did not exist.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, Acorn didn't exist.
Exactly.
25 years ago, there was no such thing as Acorn.
Right.
And you know, and for those you probably are familiar with Robinhood. Robinhood is the actual app that you can buy stocks and everything else from. You've seen E-Trade. Acorn is on that same line, but they don't do stock buying. You don't buy any stocks.
Right.
This is more, the best way I can describe it is like a 401k. You put into it, and it's going to earn money based upon the market.
There you go.
So if the market is doing well, you'll do well.
And think of the half cents. I mean, everybody buys, you know, a stick of gum, a coffee, Speedway, you know, minuscule stuff. Those dollars or those cents are invested.
Yep, and it rolls right back in. And once again, you got a ton of different companies that they're partnered with. And as long as you are an Acorn member, you're now partnered with them too. So when you spend money, it actually shows in your account. Oh, you spent $5, you spent $4, and they add it right into your account. So I mean,
it's a win-win.
It's a win-win. You can't lose on this, right? You can't really lose on this one. And this is, you know, this is how we're doing it. We did health last month. We're doing financial this month, so that we can, you know, let you guys know that your lifestyle can be maintained in so many different ways.
Right.
Please consider this, guys, because
Yes.
I know. Look, we know there are skeptics out in the world.
All day long.
And we encourage you to research it.
Yes.
Yeah, please.
Read.
Right.
I mean,
We're not, you know, doing an Amway, quick way, whatever.
No,
We're just putting it out there for you guys to have the information.
Wife or her life or somebody else's life. You know, we're not doing none of that. So, no.
all right. Now I got to say this, and this is a good thing. Now you know how. Now you know how you have celebrities who are pushing a product. Well, I don't know if I should say it, but I'm going to say it. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, you know who The Rock is. Can you smell?
Oh,
Right.
He is an investor, and he pushed the product on national television. So I don't know if that will, you know, take you over. But, you know, once again, guys,
Research.
Yeah.
We are going to post the link on our Facebook page, so you guys will be able to take a look at that, and that'll be out there momentarily.
Yep.
But definitely take the moment and go and look and read for yourself, so that way you know and understand.
Exactly.
We promise you'll be thanking us.
Yes.
Maybe not next Friday, but
You'll be calling.
you know, several
You'll be calling.
Fridays from now.
You know, and keep in mind too, I mean, individuals, if you do something like this, let's just say you have a child, start investing now.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, every little bit helps.
If you don't invest for them now, teach them how to invest.
Touche.
Teach them how to save. That is one thing in our culture that we don't do. We don't do enough of teaching our children how to save.
Well, we were never taught.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We were taught to get by, but we were never taught.
Well, no, the
to-
word I believe they use the word in Sri Lanka. I believe it's called struggle. Yes,
touche.
I mean, the word in Sri Lanka. I think, in fact, they use the word in Kenya. It is struggle. Yeah, I could be wrong in the pronunciation, but I believe it's struggle.
Well,
Right.
it's an, you know, a euphemism or an antiquated term for bootstraps.
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
And we're very good at buying them rims.
Yeah.
Well, no, they don't hate on 22 inch. You know, I'm sorry, the 24. You gotta get the 24.
Yeah.
Okay, gotta get 24.
So look, guys, on the real tip, do your research.
Yes, please do.
On anything that you do.
Yes. When it comes down to your money and everything else, take and do your research.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, read all the ups, the downs, the pros, the cons, everything else. Weigh your options before you do anything, because any investment can either be good or bad for you. It all depends on what you do, and then if you actually know. Buy or beware on everything that you do when it comes down to your money.
And we're saying that this could be a great thing for you.
Yes.
All right, we are up to our first station break. This is Wjzz Cool TV. We want you to like, subscribe,
Yes. Love us. Yes.
love us. Don't hate us. Please don't hate us. But if you do, at least tell us why you hate us.
Yes.
We want you to do all that. Feel free to give us a call at 313-355-6018, 313-355-6018. 888-888-0018. And hey, once again, guys, look at us as a public service. We're here to help you guys.
We're trying to be more informational. We want to make sure that you guys make, the right decisions.
Yeah.
We don't want you to take and go out there and, okay, let me just go ahead and open up a checking and savings account. We've heard that all our lives too. But there are different things out there that will earn you money, and you don't have to do a lot to do it.
Yeah.
Well, also too, there are a plethora of scams.
Oh my God.
And now we're being inundated by misinformation here, there. At one point in time, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a victim of it. Hell, we did the Amway crap.
Yep, Amway.
We
Soul
did
Cologne.
Exactly. Soul Cologne.
Yes.
The Cutco and all of this multi-level marketing crap. And guess what? You've been sitting there with egg on your face
All day long.
Now I gotta admit, those Cutco knives, I still got one. The knife was pretty goddamn good, and the shears.
Some of the things you do have to keep in mind, but the key thing to remember, folks, is that we want you to make sure that you make the right decisions and everything else, because some of these things out here, if you don't pay attention and ask a lot of questions, you'll always end up falling for it.
Right.
Yeah. So,
and there's no silver bullet.
Nope.
No get rich quick.
Nope.
Nothing happens. You gotta do the work.
You gotta do the work.
And put your time in.
Yeah.
Gotta put your time in.
And the work is, you got to read it. You got to read and understand, okay, Susan has this or Susan may have that and she made a lot of money off of it. But did you find out what Susan did to get that money? Well, you got to make sure you understand how she got to that point.
Well, and it's funny that you mention that. You have to not only do it with that, but you have to do it with all financial responsibility.
Absolutely.
I'm a realtor. And I could not convince my first wife when she was like, everybody's getting a house and blah, blah, blah. How come we couldn't get it? Well, because certain things didn't line up. We didn't have a certain credit. We didn't have certain down payment. We didn't have this and that. Well, everybody that, knew much more than I did, everybody lost their homes. Everybody lost their homes because they ventured into, whatever flavor of the month that was, but I've tried to advise her on the long run. Well, hey, she's staying in an apartment.
There we go. There we go. Some of the things that you learn.
Exactly.
And see, one of the things that you always have to keep in mind, too, is that when you're investing your money in anything, you need to know what you're up against. Right. And the only way you know what you're up against is by researching it yourself and making that decision if that's something that you want to do. Don't just jump into anything. I don't care, just like Rodney said, if it's anything like Amway or any of the other ways out there, but
if it's too good to be true.
If it's too good to be true, then it is. Yeah. So, but with that being said and everything else, we're going to split over just a second and everything else, but we want to actually spend a little time talking about what we talk about all the time in our spare times, cigars.
Yes, sir.
So, with that being said,
and liquors.
Cigar and liquor. And tonight we're going to actually take and spend a little bit more time and bring you into our world of the cigar lifestyle, and then also some of the things that we prefer to drink with our cigars.
Absolutely.
So, with that being said, it's a lifestyle. For those who smoke a cigar, they will tell you that it's not like a cigarette. It's definitely not like a cigarette.
All right.
It's a lifestyle.
It's a bougie lifestyle.
It's bougie.
You got to be cool.
Yeah, it's cool. You look cool with a cigar.
I'm cool like that.
There you go. And see, with the cigar, you get an opportunity to actually take in. It's a relaxing thing. Right. Anybody who's ever smoked a cigar and really truly enjoyed smoking a cigar, they will tell you that it's so relaxing. It really is.
Absolutely.
You're not sitting there, like you're trying to get rid of your day and everything else. You're sitting there relaxing on a Saturday afternoon. You didn't cut the grass. Now I
don't cut any grass. Right?
Well, the helpers cut the grass. There we go. Someone had to cut the grass.
I watched them cut.
Well, there we go. You have to supervise.
You missed that corner right there.
I think you don't want to have to call immigration either. But Okay, all right. But cheers. So
cheers.
Cheers. Okay. There we go.
Cheers.
All right. Some of the things that we do when we're actually smoking a cigar is how do we carry our cigar, and then also some of the things that we look at on how we cut it, how we light it, and some of the tools. And once again, it is a lifestyle. This is not something that you start, today and then now you know everything about cigars. There are different size cigars. There's different flavor cigars. They're a whole different world. It's not like going out and buying a pack of Cool Miles.
Right.
By no means.
And yes, women smoke cigars right with us.
All day long.
And they look good doing it.
Yes. And a lot of women like smoking the cigars because, one, it is extremely relaxing.
Right.
And yes, you do get the nicotine kick behind a cigar. It is a little stronger than a cigarette. But do understand, by the time you get done with that cigar, you've either eaten a steak or a nice piece of pork. You've had a wonderful evening. You've had some delicious bourbon. So a lot of stuff is going on with you doing that. Now, the cigarette, you just, you was over at McDonald's and, just
hanging out in the corner.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, ate some cold fries.
There you go, cold fries. There you go. The fries that they just pull out of the oven. Yeah, okay, right.
But when you're done, eating that steak at Ruth Chris or Morton's and what have you, and you want to go get something out your humidor or something like that, you can pair it with whatever you'd like to drink as you're sitting on your patio or what have you. That is pure relaxation.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Some of the toys, my wife says toys, but they're not toys, but it's some of the tools that we use that actually enjoy ourselves. And it's even just something as simple as this. This is actually a V-cut cigar cutter. And just a nice little something. So you just put your cigar in, do a V-cut, call it a day. But it's designed, so that you can actually take and do a V-cut. Now, some people prefer V-cut, and I believe Rodney actually prefers.
What I love.
He's old school. He believes that a sharp knife and just cut the tip.
Well, what was that movie? And not Johnny Walker with the switchblade or what have you, but this is a Dijo knife with you can get it engraved and what have you. And when you have your cigar, you can either slice the edge or poke the middle. And naturally, you'd be the coolest guy at a bar if you do this.
Yes.
All right, I got to jump in here because I know some of the people are saying, he's not saying anything. What's going on?
Well, that's what they say about me most of the time.
Well,
You say something, but you're not on the camera.
In full transparency, I had my first cigar with these two bozos.
And you enjoyed it.
You know what?
It
It was not bad, I will admit.
All right.
It's not bad, I will admit. Will I be as professional as these two are?
Yes, he will.
Well, we'll talk about that later.
We'll groom you, sir.
You'll get there.
Okay, so let me ask this question because you mentioned something about the cigar not being as strong as I don't quite remember what you said.
The potency, so to speak. Well, I can't tell you the components that go into a cigarette versus a cigar, but haven't you noticed when you smell the aftertaste of the cigarette? Is kind of repulsive.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Right, but you set a cigar bar with us, and you was fine.
It was all right. I will admit.
It is a natural smell, and then
Right.
depending on where and how much you spent on that particular cigar, and let me be very clear, there are some cigars that you can spend up to $50 on, and then there are some cigars that you spend $50 on that taste like crap. But there are cigars that you can spend $3 on that is phenomenal.
Yeah.
So it depends on your taste. It depends on your flavor. And the way I describe anybody who's first time using a cigar, treat it like you would your barbecue.
Good point.
So if you like barbecue where it's heavy smoke taste or anything like that, then you're probably going to want something like a Maduro. But if you want something where like you're doing chicken on the grill, but you really don't want a heavy smoke or anything like that, but you just want the chicken cooked, then you're probably going for a lighter wrap. So with a lighter wrap and everything else, it's a lighter flavor. Cigars have specific flavors, and some even you get the flavor of chocolate.
and coffee.
What was the one we had last week?
It was a blueberry.
It was a blueberry.
This is
yes.
me.
Yes. And you would have enjoyed. I tell you what, that was a phenomenal cigar.
Yes.
And in fact, for us coffee lovers out here, I love smoking a Java.
Yes.
A Java, you could smoke that on the weekend in the morning as you're drinking your latte and what have you. And I tell you what, right before brunch or even after brunch, that will enlighten your day like none other.
A lot of women like the Hava too, the Hava cigars and everything else. They're delicious because they actually have a sweet, but it's a chocolate.
Right. Yes.
And it's really, really good. And a lot of men love it too because one, it's not harsh.
Right.
It doesn't leave a harsh back blow on your tongue or anything like that. So these are the things that, once again, my suggestion to anyone who's interested in doing cigars, you want to take and start light first.
Precisely.
Do not, and I cannot stress this enough, do not start heavy. So if someone says, okay, there's a cigar, and I can't make this name up, it's actually called the Fat Bottom Betty.
You know, and those are good.
Now, Fat Bottom Betty, I'm not knocking a cigar, but if you are a first-time smoker, do not smoke a Fat Bottom Betty. You will never smoke a cigar again because it is really, really, it's a strong cigar.
Right.
Very strong cigar.
Okay, so I think you might have just answered my question, but I'm going to ask. I'm going to put it out there. So, is there a different level? I guess maybe the question could be asked if you guys were cigarette smokers. But is there a different strength?
Yeah,
for
so
cigar?
there's a potency in pretty much every cigar.
Yes, absolutely.
But there are different levels.
Right, and there's also different flavors.
Okay.
Yes.
So again, as Jimmy illustrated, you're gonna want to get the most mild first.
Yes, especially for first timers.
First timers, exactly. And also experiment. You know, you may want to eat cut of lamb. You know,
Absolutely.
after you've eaten and you want to smoke. You may want to eat some fish. You may want a higher, or a lighter blend. You may be a wine drinker.
Yes.
Exactly.
Let us not step over that too, because if you are a wine drinker, there are cigars that pair very well with wine.
Exactly.
And now, depending on what cigar establishment you go to and smoke your cigar, they will actually hit. Of course, most of them are serving alcohol. You can ask them, okay, I'm looking for something mild.
Right.
And then could you recommend a particular wine or a bourbon or in some cases a vodka, or a rum.
Yep.
Some guys like rum with their actual cigars too.
Right.
So
you can pair everything the same way with alcoholic beverages with your cigars.
Absolutely. People don't understand that it's once again, I can't stress this enough, it's a lifestyle.
Exactly. And eventually you'll be getting new gear. Here's my carrying case. My wife bought me this, and I tell you what, I take this thing with me everywhere. You can. I make my boys jealous and whatnot, but you can bring all your stuff in it, and when we're sitting back, it's like, hey boys, look what I got.
Snobs.
True that.
Now, if you're going on a trip or you're going to be out, say hiking or anything like that, or you're out in the woods or something like that, or even on the golf course, but you don't want to take and crush your cigar, you can even get a ballistic case. With a ballistic case, it allows you to keep your smokes clean, fresh, dry, the whole 9 yards.
The way we play, we need all the help.
We need all the help we need. We need a gigantic.
All right, let me jump in. I gotta ask this question.
Had to bring that up.
You said that smoking a cigar is a lifestyle.
Absolutely.
I'm a cigarette smoker. I'm just, So why is it what you do is a lifestyle, but mine is an addiction or a habit?
Well, we didn't say it wouldn't.
Yeah, we didn't say it was not an addiction.
You can do that.
Right.
And we're going to, full disclaimer, if you know that this is not something for you, then don't do it.
Exactly.
It's just like cigarettes. If that's not something for you, don't do it.
Why is being a cigar smoker more socially acceptable than being a cigarette smoker?
It's a little bit more politer.
And you have different fragrances that accentuate everything. Like, let's just say, everybody know what a cool smell like. And then when a cool hits some grease, it really stinks.
Yeah.
All right.
But, you could sit and smoke a nice cigar after your dinner.
All day long.
Exactly, and it doesn't make everything smell putrid as hell.
No.
Right.
And then,
I mean, granted, you ain't smoking in your house, you ain't smoking in the car.
no, it will leave a lingering scent, because cigar smoke, it will leave a lingering scent in your car, in your house, if you do smoke it in your house. If everybody's good with you doing it, then have at it. But if not, it will leave a lingering smell.
Yeah, go out on the back porch.
Yes, right there on the back. Yep.
All right, so let's talk about health.
Okay.
Now we know, I mean, the Surgeon General says, and all the no, actually they don't do that on.
Actually, they do.
Yeah, they do. And again, anything in excess.
Yes.
No, I understand, but I do not remember a commercial that says cigarette smoking is bad for your health.
No, God.
No, cigarette smokes. Yes.
Cigarette smoke, yes.
Yes, absolutely. But cigar smoking is, unfortunately, is still bad for you.
Is it just as bad?
Well, if you do everything every day.
Yes.
But yet, still, you're not going to smoke. What? I'm telling you, my dad used to smoke a pack of Cools every 20 minutes. That might do some. In fact, but you know, cigar guys, we smoke it maybe on the weekend, maybe after work. It's not, you know, a continuous thing.
No.
Right.
No.
It's part of that bougie lifestyle.
No, it's actually part of a lifestyle where, you know, once you get to a certain point where you want to just relax.
I understand. I'm just,
You know,
you
but
guys
no, I get you. No, but you know, but keep in mind that when you actually go to like, you know, the different, like even when we went to the cigar restaurant out in Royal Oak, when we were sitting there and everything else, it was extremely relaxing.
It was relaxing. It was chilled.
Exactly.
Yeah, most of the cigar spots that you go to, even in Michigan or just period all over, they always have relaxing seating. It's meant to be relaxing. You're sitting there. It takes longer to smoke a cigar. One, keep that in mind.
And the ventilation is there.
Yes. So
it doesn't perforate your
no,
clothes.
and then you don't come out smelling like a smoke barrel.
Right.
So I mean, you know, yes. It is. You want to go to a good establishment that actually has good ventilation always.
Exactly.
Well, like I said, you guys are the professionals. I'm the novice.
We're still learning.
Yeah, we're still learning.
I mean, I'll go have another smoke with you guys.
I hope you do.
You know, but
anyway. But keep in mind, guys, you know, when you're actually doing your cigar smoking, and then once again, I can't stress this enough, start light, and just like Rodney said, experiment.
Right.
You know, if you're bold enough, you want to try a stronger cigar, ask the person at the actual establishment that you're going to what they recommend.
Right.
You know, and let them know that you either new or you just kind of started, you're on again, off again. They'll let you know what probably would be best for you. They won't purposely give you something that will hit you like a ton of bricks.
Exactly.
Because there are cigars out there that hit you like the nicotine will hit you like a ton of bricks.
Right.
So it's important that you take, when you go into establishments like that, yes, if you've already done your research and you like a certain flavor, then have at it. Do what you do. But at the end of the day, if you go into some place and you want to really get into it, ask questions. Go and ask the proprietor, the owner of the place, and say, okay, what would you recommend? I'm getting ready to eat a delicious piece of filet mignon.
Or even tofu.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You can actually smoke a cigar with tofu.
Right.
Absolutely. There is not too many foods that you cannot pair a cigar with. I dare you not to try.
Exactly.
If you're vegetarian, you can still smoke a cigar.
Right.
all right. We got to get another station out in. Once again, you are watching Wjzz Cool TV. We are streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, and other top social media platforms. We want you to like, follow, subscribe. We want you to call in, talk to us about what we're talking about. Or you know what? Even if you had a off-topic question that you wanted to throw at us, give us a call. Hey, we'll tackle it.
Yes.
Feel free to give us a call at 313-355-6018, 313-355-6018. And once again, you're watching Puff and Drinks, WJZZ. We started our night talking about financial investing, financial health. We're trying to get you to move from the concept of the traditional banks,
Right.
Yes.
Bank of America, Chase, all the other ones.
Your mattress.
Exactly, your mattress, right?
Your jar.
Oh, we got a call.
We got a call.
Hello, caller.
Hello.
Hello.
I have a question. I've always heard cigars called stogies. Can you explain what a stogie is?
It's just a nickname. It's just a nickname, and I believe that at some point in time, and we haven't really looked at it ourselves, but I believe that a stogie was someone who enjoyed smoking cigars, and that's what he did. So, but we'll look it up and make sure and get back to you on that and everything else. But you're going to hear stogies. You're going to hear all sorts of different names for cigars, though.
Hello?
Hello? Call?
Yep. She
Caller.
must have dropped.
She's gone.
Well, thank you for your call.
Thank you. Thank you for
All
calling. Call back if you want to, if you have any other questions.
All right, I got to ask you now, Rodney, I've known you for down there 40 years.
Right?
And if I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, you never smoked a cigarette.
Nah, never smoked a cigarette.
Okay, so what got you started, and the same question to you, I want
Okay,
you to go
all right.
first. What got you started smoking cigars?
You know what? It's funny. I was at a cotillion. All right, I was invited to one. Yeah, I know. And, I was just sitting out on the terrace, and I'm like, man, what's that lingering smell? And I walked over to a gentleman who was an African-American gentleman, and he said, oh, hey, son, what's going on? Ah,
Okay, I'll call it.
all right. Hello, caller.
Okay.
Yeah, we got to hit the accept.
Yeah. Might miss that one.
All right.
Okay. Sorry, caller.
Hit answer.
Got a caller.
Accept, accept.
Okay, she might have stepped away. Okay. Okay.
All right, we lost that word. Please call back.
Yes.
So, to make a long story short, I was at a cotillion, and I smelt, an individual smoking. He almost looked like Colin Powell. And I was like, man, that doesn't smell like my grandfather's stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, oh, son, let me tell you, he ran down, the culture of it and everything else. Now, at the time, I was like, I still don't want to try it. But I went hunting, and the guys were out smoking.
Yeah.
And when I tried it then, I was like, you know what? This is not bad.
Mm-hmm.
So, I started, delving into it periodically. And then after a while, I developed a fetish. And it's like, okay, hey, this all right.
All right. What's your story, Jimmy?
My story is I found it on a golf course. We were at a golf course and everything else. This was 1998, 1990.
And you were never a previous cigarette smoker?
No, I never smoked cigarettes.
Okay. All right.
And just so happens we were out on the golf course and everything else, and we were all in the clubhouse and everything else, and everybody was getting ready to go out, and being the only black guy in the group, and I'm sorry I was.
Right.
So and they're all pairing up with different things. They're getting their golf balls, they're getting gloves, all this other stuff, and everybody's buying cigars.
Yeah, see.
So Jimmy, I can't be left out of this crew. I gotta get some cigars. So I go over, and the only thing they had at that time was Patagas. And I remember the name because it just stuck like glue, Pataga. I'm like, okay, Pataga is actually one of the most expensive. It's an expensive cigar, but it's also one of the most delicious too. So
That cleaned out your bank account, didn't
yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. I didn't eat lunch for a week, but that's another story. So with that, I bought the Pataga and everything else. I only bought one because I didn't know what I was doing, and then I watched what they did, and I cut the cigar and I smoked it and everything else. From there, I loved it. Because what I did, and just like Rodney said, what caught my attention was the smell.
Right.
The smell, as it was wafting from all the different, car shelves around us, they were all blowing the smoke. And then it didn't smell like, that bitter smell from a cigarette or anything like that.
Right.
Because we've all been in rooms where people smoke a cigarette.
yeah.
Or worst case, they blow the smoke in your face.
Well, we grew up with our parents doing smoking parties.
Oh, yeah.
And man, that was horrible.
Yeah. It stayed in the house, all on clothes, whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
So when they were in that cart and they were smoking their cigars and that it was wafting back, I had to get in on that. And to me, from that point on, I wanted to know more about it.
Yeah.
It only takes one.
Your daughter says, yes. No, both of you got daughters.
Yes.
Dad, I want to smoke a cigar with you.
At what age?
Well, yeah. All right.
If my 12-year-old walked up, Dad, I want to take a shot of gin and smoke a cigar. That ain't freaking happening.
Nah. You know what I mean? When they are of age, would you encourage them? Would you?
I want to give them the information to make the best decision.
Absolutely.
All right.
Right.
And my daughters, they're both in their 20s and everything else, and neither one of them smoke any cigarettes or, from my understanding, weed. At least I hope not. But if they did, that's the choice that they made. Okay. And if they want to come to me and say, Dad, I want to actually smoke a cigar with you, count it in. Now, I love that.
Now,
I really would.
My wife didn't smoke. And she tried a cigar, and she was like, you know what, dude, this ain't half bad.
It's not.
Yeah.
What did she try?
Oh, it was naturally Java.
Yeah, okay,
things like that.
So you tried that.
All right.
So,
But I mean,
and then the sweetness behind that, she loved it.
Yep. And she was like, okay. And, my wife, prim and proper. She's like, hey.
That's right.
Okay.
Now, the first cigar will make you lightheaded. It really will. I don't care whatever you smoke, it will make you a little lightheaded and everything else because you are getting hit with a lot of nicotine at that time.
Well, if you don't know how to take it in.
Yes.
Again, you can't smoke it like a cigarette.
Too. You should also be drinking water with your cigar.
Right. And you can't smoke it like a cigarette.
No.
You have to take your time with it. No. Cigarette is gone in 3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah.
All right, so you know what? Let me, I don't know why this question came to my mind, but I got to ask, and I guess this is more, I don't expect you guys to give me a clinical answer, okay? But I just want to hear your thoughts. So, I can understand why people might want to try a cigar because it's socially acceptable.
It can be.
It's a lifestyle.
Okay, it can be.
So why do people start cigarettes? Why do people start smoking cigarettes?
That is something. Cigarettes been around. Well, tobacco has been around forever. Right.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I mean,
but even in this golden age, smoking kills. We know it has. I mean,
it kills on both ends. Don't let us not stand on ceremony on that. We do know that cigars, smoking too much for anything, will kill you.
Okay, so why is it? So I don't hear anybody saying I don't hear anybody bad mouthing cigars.
Well, yeah, you do. I worked at a project in Virginia, Philip Morris, and they had nicotine prevention with cigar. Granted, they sold tobacco, but they had nicotine prevention for everything else. And now we even have vaping. That's just as bad.
Yeah, the vaping is a whole different world.
All right.
Like Jimmy indicated, anything in excess.
Yeah, that's it.
But in terms of being socially acceptable, cigars are it.
I think cigars are becoming a little bit more socially acceptable because people don't do them like, okay, if you go to lunch or anything else, you don't see someone lighting up a cigar.
No, that's true.
You don't.
You're cracking a cigarette.
But you'll see somebody taking a cigarette break 12 times a day.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Standing out, oh my gosh, I remember
Sub-Zero.
And they're out there.
Yeah, they out there. Oh my gosh, I'm driving by. I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel for y'all. And they shivering, but
you gotta get that smoke in, man.
Gotta get that smoke in.
You gotta get that smoke in.
Now, my grandfather smoked a pipe.
My dad did too.
Yep. And he chewed that snuff and all that. And I did that stuff. I got sick as a dog. And he beat my ass for it.
Now, I don't do no dip.
I did dip.
I
did dip in college.
I remember you did that.
Yep,
I remember
did
that.
dip in college.
No.
And I'm like, you know what? I can't keep up with
The
this.
day my dad, we asked my dad, can we taste it? And he put it in me and my brother's mouth. We paid for it dearly.
Yeah.
He took some of that cheap tobacco.
Oh, yeah.
It came in a white pouch, and he put that in the back of our mouth, and he opened your mouth, and I put it in there and then everything else, and then you like fools, we chewed it.
Did you swallow it like Bickley chew?
I didn't swallow the tobacco, but I actually swallowed the juice.
That's what I'm saying.
I did not know that you were not supposed to swallow it.
Yeah.
He didn't say anything, but I think he did that so that we would not do it.
Right.
And you know, to this very day, I'm like, yeah, okay, all right. I don't do that now because I still remember my ass gagging. You know, no.
Well, gentlemen, we are about out of time.
Out of time.
Yes. This has been a very enlightening discussion with everyone.
I agree. Good stuff.
And we were not too silly because we've been getting complaints. Well, I won't say complaints.
Right.
Positive criticisms.
Exactly.
You know, we wanted to give you guys some good information, and I think we did. Now,
Absolutely.
Especially the financial part. Now, if you desire to become a cigar smoker, like the gentleman said, take it slow. Take it easy.
Yes, absolutely.
It's a lifestyle, not a daily habit like drinking water. Drink your water. So there you go. This is Wjzz Cool TV. Our show, Puffin' Drinks, is an informational show, entertainment show. I mean, we gonna have some fun. We may do some laughing, but you know, once again, from the heart, we're all about trying to give you some information that you can appreciate. So that's it. I think we are done.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers. And I believe that is it. And once again, hey,
have a good night.